Welcome to the POTRBLOG site. It's Friday, November 18th, 2011, with an extremely concerning story this evening, especially if you live anywhere near Brunswick, North Carolina, or you're downwind or downstream. In fact, we're going to make a prediction that the Federal Bureau of Investigation will be involved very shortly with what's occurring here at the Progress Energy's Brunswick, North Carolina plant. For those who don't know what's happened yet, and that is on November 16th, an emergency was declared because of a leak at the nuclear plant. The nuclear plant had been in maintenance, and they had just restarted the nuclear plant, and it had gone into recriticality, and it was at 7% power, and this leak kept getting worse. So the operator manually shut down the plant, which is, from a probabilistic standpoint, a manual shutdown, scram of a plant is one of the most dangerous time periods. And we find out today that the cause of this was, and it says right here on the, this is directly from the NRC event report today, the reactor pressure vessel RPV head was not fully tensioned. Now, this ought to have people just quaking in their boots into this. You know, this is the functional equivalent of the guys at a meth lab forgetting to properly do their pressure cooker and catching their mistake just before the blast goes off and alerts the neighborhood that something's wrong. The failures on this thing are just multiple. I mean, there's a quality control failures. I mean, it literally takes the words out of our mouth here. You know, policy controls, procedures. Why was this not caught in testing? I mean, are the procedures so horrible that the testing for this is literally to start the reactor up to see if it fails? You know, if something like this had occurred on a nuclear sub, the entire fleet would be stood down until this thing was corrected and investigated. You know, it's just utterly incredible from an escape defect standpoint that this occurred. And it either screams such a level of incompetence that this place should not even operate. But, you know, the other level is, if it's not incompetence, then it screams sabotage. And the NRC has just put out that they've set out a special investigative team to investigate what's happened here, sort of like, I guess, like they've done with North Anna. But this is, we suspect, at least it should be treated as a criminal event and investigated from that standpoint initially to rule out sabotage and not destroy evidence before the FBI has a chance to get there. Who knows, the FBI may be involved already. But if you live in Brunswick, North Carolina, there is no telling what has been released from there and whether or not they'd even tell us. So there's short-term mitigation actions that people should take, cost-effective ones. But if this is a sign of incompetence, and this is the most, I mean, this is a grace of God saved us from something potentially worse happening here. You know, they would call for long-term risk mitigation. But that's our prediction for this evening, is that shortly you'll see an announcement that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is involved in this incident. Good night.